Okay, I have pressed the start streaming button, but I don't think Twitch will actually be. Or maybe now? Hello Twitch. I think by now you've probably caught me live. What I need to do next time is watch myself on Twitch just to see when I press the start streaming button, when I actually start streaming to Twitch. Anyway, okay, that's the really fun, interesting stuff out of the way. Hello, everybody. So I'm hoping that this is my regular slot, sort of roughly around this time of day, so say 2-ish, give or take, on a Thursday. I'm hoping I can make this like a regular thing. And then maybe, if there's time, another day during the week here and there. We'll see how it goes. Or like a late night one like I did yesterday. Let me switch to the drawing view. Here we go. So this is currently what everything looks like. Oh. Toon Boom, I think, is waiting to process that request. No? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was last night. I think I finished off not quite sure what colour I wanted the floor. I've gone for this mauve for now, which I grabbed from here. One of the darker colours in this sort of spectrum of mauve. I did have it briefly, if I find that layer, I did have it briefly this colour, which I think was a bit heavy. Let's see. That layer, please. Oh, I'm on the wrong sub layer. There we go. Yeah, I had it this colour for a bit. Are you going to let me do it or not? Control A. There we go. Which, I don't know, I think is a bit of a heavy colour, but the thing is, once I've started doing the colour of everything else here, maybe it won't look that heavy. So, I don't know. I'm a bit torn between the two. But I will keep it to this for now. I think. I suppose, I'm going to do the rest of the tables, and then I can sort of block fill some of the gubbins here, and then I can sort of judge if I want to keep it this sort of mauve colour or whether I want to keep it the green. But for now, yeah, let me just do the tables. Rest of the tables in this kind of biscuit. I'm calling it biscuit. Biscuit or tea, milk tea colour. I've really not... Well, I have decided. I've called it brown biscuit here on my palette selector. How is everybody? Everybody alright? Good. So I've been colouring by using the stroke tool. What layer is this? Layer 3. Cool. I feel like I need to actually delete some of these lines, which are, this is sort of like part of the line work cleanup, which I have yet to do on some of these layers, like this sort of rear table line that can go in a lot of places. But for now, I will do the fill for the table. Yeah, I said this already, but I've decided to stick to colouring for the time being in Toon Boom, even if it is being quite laggy, because I want to colour some of the line work and it's much easier for me to do that in Toon Boom rather than export it as a PNG and work in Photoshop, for instance. I might end up doing some of it in Photoshop later on. You're not crossing over at any point here? There we go. I need to make sure my strokes cross over so that then I can do my fills. Otherwise they won't fill. Fill? This is a Street Soul mix. You can probably tell by the name here. Space Ghost and DJ Patrick's Street Soul special. One of the sorry, my coughing. I think the cough may be forever. I think this is it. This is me. I'm just gonna cough forever and ever. No, I don't think that's true. I think it's just a very annoying cough that's going to last a little while longer. Let me have a drink. But BPT is Bar Part-Time, which is a cafe. It's not a cafe, it's a bar, a wine bar. I believe it's in LA. And they released their DJ sets on SoundCloud. Or is it Mixcloud? One or the other. One of the music cloud services. And Street Soul. It's it was. I sometimes think of Street Soul as being a little bit of a precursor to trip hop. Like a lot of trip hop sounds quite. Early trip hop sounds quite a lot like Street Soul. Although Street Soul itself is kind of not necessarily British, like a lot of mid-90s trip hop was very much a British and even a Bristol thing, actually. But Street Soul's, I think, a bit more transatlantic. I think also not just trip hop, but maybe garage also kind of was heavily influenced by Street Soul. As in UK garage, I don't mean garage rock. Although there might be some examples of garage rock influenced by Street Soul. I'd be very curious to hear what that sounds like. What's everyone playing at the moment? Any game players out there? Video games, computer games, pool games, party games. Anyone playing charades right now? What is my favourite parlour game? That was a good question. I would like to say it was something. Excuse me. I would like to say it's something that's based on trivial knowledge, but I think I'm not as. I'm not as broad in my knowledge as I'd like to think I am, so I don't know if I'd be that good at trivial pursuit type stuff. Also, charades is kind of a problem for me too, because frankly, I'm not all that like nerdy about film titles, book titles, that sort of stuff either. So I don't know, what parlour games would I enjoy? Maybe it would be, oh, but then I feel under pressure, like, you know, the drawing type parlour games, like Pictionary. Then you feel, as a person that draws, you feel an immense amount of pressure that you should be really good at it. Those people that do the live scribing stuff, you know, like the whiteboards, illustration, animation style, sort of whilst meetings or presentations or conferences are happening, those people, they should be so good at things like Pictionary, because that's practically what their job is, interpreting what is being said visually on the spot, live. Okay, we're nearly done with this. Very long table, this. Oh, we're not crossing over here, we're not. Oh, I did a terrible job here at closing gaps. See this little black square? That's showing that that's closed. That's crossing, two vectors crossing over, and therefore no gaps. For those not familiar with the Toon Boom graphical user interface. Okay, so let's close up this one. Okay, Phil. Oh, I've missed a table leg here. How remiss of me. There we go. Oh. think that's... Let's turn off the strokes. That's that table filled, I think. No, it isn't. No, it is not. I can see right here. I've got a bit more to do. There we go. Cool. There we go. I'll do the 2 tables behind it, which should be this sort of layer. No. This layer. No. Oh, is it all the same layer? Oh, it is. Okay, never mind. Alright, well, that's easy enough. Yeah, and then I'm hoping that by the time I've filled out these tables and done a few details here, I can decide whether I want this floor to be this colour or whether I want it to be more of this green over here, this green. I don't know. Because it works here, right? As this green works as the I guess the fill at the back. And so I feel like it should work once all this stuff is done in these colours. That this floor should work in this kind of green. Anyway, time will tell. This is nice. The music, sorry YouTube watchers, you won't be able to hear this. And not only that, this doesn't give you any indication of what the music I'm hearing right now is. But if you listen to this track on SoundCloud, the timestamp is 18 minutes into the mix. It's nice. It's got like a nice sort of synth. Do they call that pads? Like, I hear the term in music, pads, used a lot, and I'm like, does that mean the synths? The pads? Or is that or are the pads like the digital percussion? I don't know. Like drum pads? I'm not that familiar with that sort of terminology. I hear people talking about pads, and then I think, they mean drum pads, don't they? And then it doesn't necessarily sound like they are talking about the drum pads. Sometimes it sounds like they're talking about the synths. You don't really see actually very much of this rear table, frankly, but I'll do the fill anyway to be a, completionist. Okay. So many layers of lines. Okay, what else? I guess, okay, so I need to do strokes here and strokes there. Okay, cool. Oh, no, not cool. There we go. Oop. I'm pretty sure, yeah, here we go. Need to do, this is one more area. I need to add some strokes for this, and then I've filled out all the tables with their flat colour. Actually do it at a slight angle, there we go. So I can see a little easier. wonder how much of this, oh you do see it in a couple of places. This rear line of this table. There's a couple of spots where you see it. Again, it'll all be so much more apparent once I've started to fill all the gubbins on these worktops. Woo! Okay. Oh wait, look. Haven't finished, there's still this one here. I bet there's going to be one more spot that I've missed. That entire section vectored off? I think so. We've got the strokes all over it. Hold on, is that... Oh, look, here we go. These are not closed. Now they are. Delete the excess. So I can get rid of that too here. Chop, 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 chop. Very satisfying doing this. Deleting the unnecessary vector ends. Alright, excuse me for all this yawning. I'll drink some more coffee. Cheers. Paint bucket tool fill. Yay, there we go. Alright. Yeah, you won't really see very much of these rear tables, but you know, the odd gap here and there between the items, you do see something. Hang on, just out of interest, how does this look like now? See, the more I'm filling out these, the more I'm inclined to going with the green. I really am. But I'll keep it to this for now, because I'm not sure. If anybody wants to give me an opinion, whether they prefer this colour or this colour for the floor, let me know. Okay. Oh, dear oh dear. Next colour. What colour to do the walls? I'm going to use, let me bring up this reference, which actually won't be any use here because the walls in this reference are white and I'm not interested in white walls, but I'm using this as a reference. It's a much more modern workshop and it's more to do with like the balance of colours, if that makes sense. So the colours I'm using are sort of these ones that I've grabbed from a Sesame Street animation. I enjoy their kind of early 80s palette very much, so that's kind of the colours I'm going for, but I'm using this as a kind of, you know, a balance reference. Anyway, this is irrelevant in this respect because these walls are white and I don't want the walls to be white, so I can minimise that for now. But maybe I'll go for a palish colour A paler colour, not green, because I'm going to have, well, maybe the green floor, but also there's going to be some green foliage behind these windows at some point. So I think I want to go so that contrasts with that. I wonder if I go for a pink walls. No, that seems a bit intense. I wonder if I go for this purple. No, I want something lighter than that. Is this yellow? Possibly. Yeah, let me try the yellow. I'm going to try the yellow. So let me select the right layer. Okay, it is the same layer as that. I believe that's layer 1. Yes, line work 1. Okay, let's give it a go. Are the vectors on or off? Technically my vectors should be showing. There they are, cool, alright. Well, this is a very famous Street Soul track. I don't remember the name of it, but this is extremely famous. I remember as a kid hearing this all the time. What is it? Is it Lover Lover Man? It is, isn't it? I don't know who this is by though. I should know. As a South Londoner, I am ashamed that I don't know the name of this. Okay, I'm going to Google it. I used to play this all the time in Streatham in the 90s. Street Soul, Mr. Lover Man. Surely this will be... No, that's definitely not it. 1990s? Shabba Ranks? Shabba Ranks, yeah. Of course it's Shabba Ranks. Although they're calling it reggae fusion on here, not Street Soul. Okay, Shabba Ranks. So right now, those watching on YouTube, Shabba Ranks as Mr. Loverman is playing. Oh, I was really silly to actually wipe those vectors out because I need them for this. There we go, for when I do the wall. Idiot. I believe this style of wrapping is called toasting, right? Am I right? I guess like the most famous American toaster would be Busta Rhymes, right? I mean, he didn't always rap in that way, but he would occasionally do that style of rapping because I believe he had Caribbean roots. He was from Queens though, right? But I think one of his parents, both of his parents came from one of the Caribbean islands. Maybe even Jamaica. I didn't make her, no. She did it of her own accord. hear like a very low sub bass, but my headphones can barely pick it up, but it is there. Okay. I need to make sure that I check the chat window more often, because there's been a couple of occasions where somebody has said something and I've not seen, and by the time I actually see and reply, they have obviously long gone. Yeah, let's see what this yellow looks like. At the same time, I might just keep the wall actually this light biscuit colour. Everything's biscuit colour. Thinking about it, actually, I might keep the walls the colour they are. Yeah, in fact I will. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to make them yellow. I might make the ceiling that yellow, possibly. The strokes I'm doing are not wasted though, because I still need to actually do this fill. So then what here? That's where I continue next. Oh, sorry, I just got a text message. Okay. Seeing a little bit of... that's fine. It's like this line isn't quite matching up with where this corner is, but you know what, that's fine. I'll just work that out with the shading later. Yeah, I can just tweak that line a little bit, no issues. Sorry, I keep getting text messages. Okay, there we go. V. Yeah, so technically these strokes aren't to do the wall, they're to do the ceiling and the window ingresses. I said last night when I was streaming that I really enjoy saying the word ingress. I degress, I like to say the word ingress. Oh, excuse me. This almost sounds like, is it Luke Vibert? Like Vibert? Guy who does like acid house stuff. I don't think it is Luke Vibert. But it certainly has a slight acid feel to it. Okay, so just need to now close up it here. Is that part of the wall? I think it is, right? Yeah. Okay. Oop. If I just actually drag that over like this, there we go. And then I can close up the rest. Could probably actually just do it this way. There we go. Because the this doorway is actually a layer above the one I'm currently working on. I don't need to be like totally accurate with how much I'm going into the line work, because you know the the fill will be underneath that layer. Do you know what I mean? Okay, I think I can now actually think about filling. Can I? So I'm just going to pull a colour at random to just see that I've excuse me, closed all the gaps here. Have I? I have. Alright, that's not the colour I want though. I'm going to use the colour that's already there, which I believe is yellow too. If I turn off this fill layer, there we go, and do that. There we go, perfect. Alright. Excuse me. Excuse me, I'm going to mute the mic just so I can cough for a second. Hello, back again. Right. Let me think about having this floor in this green, okay? I just need to think about it. Making it green, right? Turn off the strokes. What if I have the ceiling as that mauve colour? If I consider this if I consider this, and then I consider this, making this. Okay, let's have a look. I might have to end up doing two versions, just to have a look at later, where I have the mauve on the bottom, and then this one colour, and then having this green at the bottom as the floor colour, and then having the mauve on top. Maybe. Let's have a look. Sometimes also it's just good to have, like, I'll render out two PNGs and look at them really tiny, just to look at them compositionally as thumbnails, because sometimes that really helps as well, is scaling something right down, because you can kind of see the composition, the colour composition really quickly. Kind of like, a bird's eye view. I'll do these fills, render out these two versions, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Okay, let's quickly do those fills. So Again, don't need to be too precious here because this door layer is above everything. So I can just kind of whack it like that. No, like that. There we go, that's the ceiling demarcated. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, let's see. So this is going to be one version. Oh, hold on. Haha, I need to close off these. Let me think. Probably. Let's have a look. Oh, I see. I need to do it like this. Okay. It's a bit more complicated than I first thought. Let's just do this quickly. I forgot all of these. Recesses and ingresses. There we go. Is that closed off? Yeah. Okay, so I need to do the same thing here. Oh, I can maybe just stretch that one along, can I? No, not quite. It's a bit more wobbly than that. There we go. Goodness me, an hour flies by. Absolutely flying by the time. Yeah, okay. Is that what I did with this one? Oh, it's not open for a start. Okay. Yeah, I'll just do that. Okay. Okay, so I think I just need to do one more with this window. Yeah, okay. I think I can just drag this one over, can I? No? Can I not? Yeah. Nice. And then just this here. Go. And here. Cool, and then just here. Oh, I was not expecting vocoder, auto-tune here. When I think of Street Soul, I think of like like just before the dawn of auto-tune, but maybe auto-tune came in right around now. I mean, it was a very obvious auto-tune, so yeah, maybe it's quite, what's the word? Primitive auto-tune. It's definitely there though, you can definitely hear the auto-tune. Okay, so I think I've closed all those gaps now, so let's have a look. No, apparently I've not closed the gaps. Is it here? Was that you? That seems hard to believe. Let's have a look. No, okay. Let's have a think. Why isn't this filling? That's all looking okay to me. Yeah, that's closed off there. Am I on the right layer? I'm on the right layer. That's all closed off there. And then that's, as far as I can tell, all closed off there. Is here the issue? No. I can't tell where and why this isn't filling. Paint bucket, brick, go. No? Ah, there we go, okay. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, I changed the gap closing thing here and it seems to have done the job right. So, okay, let's think. Does that work? Remember that everything here is going to be a range of colours, but maybe that mauve is too heavy though. What about if I did that? No. No, 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 no. No. I think... No. It could be this colour, but maybe lighter. No, I don't want to do a grey. For a start, there's no greys here. Well, that is not working, is it? No, I don't think so. I tell you what, I'm going to do this and export it. Images. Oh, I've not saved today's version 62. Save as 62. Excuse me. Okay, now I go File, Export Images. Let's do 62 A. Yeah? Yeah. and then just do one frame. Okay. And then I'm going to do one where I've got the floor as this mauve and the ceiling not mauve. So make that, and then the ceiling. What colour should I make this? I mean, that colour, same as the tables? I mean, it kind of works, but then that makes me think like a lighter mauve might work as well. Possibly. Let's do that. Let's do a lighter brick. So there's brick 1. That's why I'm calling this mauve colour. Brick. Let's call it brick 2. Okay. And then if I use that to fill here, then I can start adjusting here. Vibrancy, saturation. No, let's go vibrancy. Might need to actually turn down the saturation as well. What do I think about this? I don't want it to be grey though. No, I'm not enjoying any of these shades. Hold on. I'm trying to think, what colour am I imagining in my eyes would this look like? No, that suggestion looks terrible. Toon Boom's like offers you suggestions here, like 6 shades, like 3 lighter and 3 darker, but I don't like any of those suggestions. Maybe that. Let's see if it's a bit more like that. No, that's very close to that pink, which I didn't want it to be. Because I've got this pink underneath here, which is extremely similar. Something like that. It's getting very close to the pink now. I'm going to leave it at this. Am I? A bit more red? No, because then it'll move into that pink, which is what I'm trying to avoid. A bit more in the yellow hue? Blue? No, yellow? Oh, maybe. Maybe that's what I need, a bit more yellow in there. Huh. Wonder if that's the colour I'm thinking of. I'm going to leave it at this. This is what I'm going to leave it at. Okay, so let's export version B. Okay, and this is where the magic happens. I'm going to compare the two. It's like magic. I'm going to put them in this screen here on my tablet, and then I'm going to make them very small and then put them next to each other and then make this crucial decision as to what colours I want. This is not going to help at all. No, it will, will it? I don't know, let's find out. Okay, so where did I export those to? My export folder. PNGs. Okay, so what ones are they? It's these two. Okay, so open that. make it very, very small. It's crucial that it's very small. Although quite annoyingly, it's got this UI right over it. There we go. And then this one. Oh, it's going to be hard to decide actually. I wonder. Okay, let's see. So here is A. I'm assuming you can see that, can you? Yeah, that's A. And then this is the one I just exported. There we go. Okay, let's make them the same size. Let's minimize this actually. Minimize that. Okay. Make these the same size. There we go. All right. Man. I think I am gonna go for the green floor. Am I mad? Because then if I think about these colours, let me bring those back up again. If I think about these colours, right? Don't they work better on the green? Yeah. Screw it, I'm going to go for the green. My mind's eye, the green is... Yeah, it's the green, guys. It's the green. But I may keep that brick 2 as the ceiling colour. There you go, there's a compromise. So let's do that. Floor. Again, nothing is set in stone. I may have made this choice today, but I may completely throw this choice out the window next time I'm online. There we go. Yeah, I think that works. I'm sticking with it for now. You need to come to a decision, and I've made the decision. Because I think once I've got all the details, like all these, bits, it will kind of balance out this heavier green, a bit like this here, right? I think so. Okay, all right. Okay, well, so what's next? I need to come up with a shade that's between these walls and this light coming through, like to go in these ingresses. But for now, let me do the door. And I think the door, let's have a look at this as reference. These doors are a horrible grey colour, so again, absolutely no use whatsoever. So maybe in this workshop, they could be... Sorry about the coughing. Maybe this is where the brick colour comes in. Possibly this is where that brick colour comes in. Or the yellow. Let's have a look. So that is this one, colour, turn on the vectors. When I say vectors, I mean strokes. All these strokes. Oh. Oh, no, I don't need to do that side. Or actually, the doors are going to be a different colour to the door frame, so let me do the doors properly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to make these yellow, these doors. And then maybe have the door frame biscuit. Now, hold on. Is that the right colour? Or is that the right colour? Or are neither the right colour? Light green? Oh, maybe the light green actually. Maybe it's the light green. Certainly with this floor it's the light green, isn't it? Okay, so the light green doors. The windows will not be light green, so let's erase. There we go. Can erase this. There we go. Same again. Cool. All right. And then the door frame itself. Let me just have a quick look. I think that works. Yeah, I think that works. And then I think, well, I'll talk about that when I get to it. How long have I been streaming for? An hour and 14 minutes. Ideally, I'd like to get to a point where I'm comfortable or confident with my big blocks. That is to say, the floor colour, the ceiling colour, and yeah, that's about it actually. Because then I can sort of start making some more sensible decisions regarding all the details on this rear background. Okay, so if I make that, now this is where I think I do use this darker brick colour. Brick 1, not brick 2. Okay, let's turn the strokes off. What do we think? Or no, I think that works better, but actually, does this work better? No. I think maybe it is this colour I'm going for. Hold on, let's try this perp. No. Darker perp? No way. No way. Although then that's quite similar. Well, I say it's quite similar. It's quite similar to that. I think maybe I'm going to stick to that dark brick colour for the frame. Hold on, let's have a look at this for the reference. How do these look? These have, well, they don't really have a frame colour at all, and the frame colour is exactly the same as the doors, which is a boring grey. So let's just see. There's a light green. What if I do dark green around the light green, but maybe like a slightly different shade of this dark green? It could work. But then, what about that? Huh. I'm also wondering if actually this door should be this shade of green here. Like this almost yellow green. Let me make another green. Green 3. See, this is why you need to have your colour references on the view at all times. Because sometimes you'll be like, actually, you know what? I don't mind this green. Sorry, my cap just knocked my overhead camera. I keep doing that all the time. It's very important, this camera, because it proves that I'm actually drawing. I'm not faking it. And also it means if I go to this view, you can see it. Look at that. Wow, IRL. Obviously this is a real IRL. Warts and all, as they say. But where was I going with this? Yes, I want to grab this colour. So if I go to Chlora, which I think I've talked about before, it is my colour picker of choice. Like across the, it works, across the various softwares. It's just a good colour picker tool. Alright? Now, which kind of yellowy green do I want to go for? Hold on, if I turn that off, I want to go for maybe more of a... Where do you change the sample area? Here we go. Let's go for an average of 5x5, because this is quite pixelated. Yeah, or is it a bit more there, a bit more green? Let's go for that. Control C. Did I grab that? No, I didn't. Annoyingly, that red from Toon Boom is in the way. There we go. Let's go for that green. Is that the green I want, or is actually that the green I want? Maybe that's the green I want. Yeah, okay, so turn that off, and then I can go back to colour sample area, back to 1 pixel. Oh, please. What are you doing? Why aren't you letting me? There we go, thank you. So that is 1 4. Okay, so open this up. I really wish, and I don't know why, you can't copy paste hex codes into Toon Boom. Is that like because Adobe have copyrighted hex codes or something? 152 and then 83. Alright, so there's my more like pea soup green. I think maybe that will work. Yeah, there we go, right? Isn't that better? Yeah, I think so. And then how about if I used that previous green for the door frame? No, I'm sticking to this brick colour for now, I think. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I'll probably tweak it later. None of this is set in stone. Alright, what's next? I should do this shelf. Block out the colour of this shelf. This one will probably be a lighter colour though, just because of where it sits behind stuff. And I don't want it to draw the eye too much. I mean, that's the other thing about some of these details at the back, is that if they're drawing too much attention after I've done the stuff at the front, then I will tamp it down. I think the floor's going to work well though, to provide contrast with everything else. So I think I'm happy with this green. I mean, certainly these are all quite old school looking colours, so that's good. I'm happy with that, because it is sort of like, this is definitely giving me early 80s. It seems suddenly much more louder, the music in my ears. Hold on, let me turn it down a bit. Because this is a live mix from the wine bar, obviously the DJs have turned up their levels on their decks. But I'm preferring a bit more background music. There we go. I turned it down a few decibels there. I don't feel like I want to shout, you know. Okay, right. Turn the Strokes back on. I don't mean the band. I mean the Strokes. So let's stroke this off, this shelf. I think I'm going to work until, what time is it? Well, I was going to say 3:30, maybe 3:30ish. Yeah, maybe I'll work till 3:30 if that's alright with everybody. Maybe a little bit longer. I suppose what I could do is I could do that shelf, and then maybe also these rads. I've got like a few radiators here too. And then I was thinking, so what I was thinking is like some of these things, like this siren-y looking thing and this one here, maybe they could be like a red, classic red. But then I also need to work out what these pipes and these light fittings are. So okay, maybe I'll tell you what, I'll work until 3:45, so 3:45. Because that gives me like another half an hour-ish. Right? Right. So let's get going. I usually ask my significant other for colour advice because she is very, like, colour is one of her superpowers. Like, she just knows her colour theory much better than I do. So sometimes, and also, you know, just having an objective eye, right, it helps. So I will probably bore her later on and be like, do you think this one works, or do you think this one works? And what about this one? And then she'll give me an answer, and then I'll tell her, no, you've not told me the right answer. And then she'll get really frustrated with me. She'll be like, I gave you an answer. Why are you now telling me I've told you the wrong thing? And I will say, it's my prerogative. Don't hurt my feelings. I'm a very sensitive artiste. Can't win with me, turns out. I ask for help, and then I bite the hand that feeds me, so to speak. What an arsehole. Am I allowed to say a-hole, arsehole? I think I am. I won't get into too much trouble saying that on Twitch, will I? I feel like I've heard people say worse. In fact, I've definitely heard people say worse. Goodness me. This place is a cesspit. Okay, I might need to blow my nose in a second, so let me just do the stroke here. On this side. Confused what's going on. Can't quite tell. Oh, so I'll just go down to that vector there, that stroke down there. Ooh, this is nice. I need to Shazam this one later on. Shazam. Okay, so what I need to do is wow, this one's using a load of samples. So, because this bit's behind the table, I suppose what I could do is, if I delete that, I just do this, right? If I do create a, oh, how do you do that? Alt Q, there we go. No, there we go. And then I can just, because it's like mostly behind this table, I'm going to cheat and just do that. And then do this. There we go. Is this called Runaway Lover? I don't know. It might just be a sample, I'm not sure. It feels like it could be both it feels kind of European, this one. But yeah, sophisticated. It's like Sophisti Street Soul. Okay, so that's that vector stroked off. Let's see. Oh, did she say come to Spain? Well, that confirms it. This is a Balearic Street Soul. Purple? No, this is not going to work. No way. No way. No, I didn't think so. If anything, it's going to be this brick colour again. Or is it even this brick colour? Yeah, I think so. Which means I think maybe the ceiling needs to be a lighter brick colour, but I'll wait. I'll deal with that later. There'll be load more shades as I keep going. So as a flat, I'll leave it at this for now. Okay, so what's next to consider? Light fittings and pipes. Also, I suppose at some point I will actually, rather than create a new shade here, I will actually make, so this wall will be darker in shade. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not expressing myself terribly well here. I know what I mean. I wonder if I should do that now, in fact. I think I should. Do I need to stroke it off? Whenever I say that now, I'm thinking of like me doing something else. It's like a euphemism, right? Stroking off. Any Harmontown fans here? You'll get the reference. Ugh. So Alt V, I think what I'll do is, yeah, I will do that quickly now, because that will help me gauge the darks and the lights. So, excuse me. This cough, really, honestly. Wow. Go off, King, as the kids say. Sorry, YouTube watchers, it's the music. There is I'm going to assume, Indian vocalist? I mean, I hope he's Indian. He might be Sri Lankan or Bangladeshi. No, I think it's Indian. God, I'm sounding extremely ignorant here, but he's going for it in the best possible way. Fortunately, I don't recognise. I don't recognise the language. I don't think it is Sri Lankan though. It doesn't sound like Tamil. I can just about tell the difference between Tamil and the other Indian languages. Just about. Hey, do you think you could tell the difference between Polish and Czech? I mean, obviously, if you can speak those languages, you can. I can, because I can speak Polish. So, come on, give me a break. Give me a break. Where was I? Sorry. Focus. So, that's that done. That's that one done. That's that done. That's that done. So I should be able to now just drop in. So what I'm thinking is, that's yellow 2. So I think I need something a little bit darker than yellow 2. So let me make another one. So many colours. This is where working in Photoshop is a little bit simpler, because you don't need to have every colour indexed. But I don't mind working like this. I might call this yellow 2 dark, because it won't be that different. Vibrancy, saturation, no vibrancy. And then I'm going to make it... Oh wait, no. You might want to actually do the fill first, so you can gauge. Did that colour that too? It did, great, okay. Oh, and here too. There we go. Alright, so now zoom out, Shift M. This is where I can gauge a little better. Is that too dark now? Maybe I need to increase the vibrancy as well. Let me turn off the... Hold on, let me turn off the strokes. There we go. It's a bit clearer. Saturation up. Yeah? Does that work? I think that works. You only want it to be ever so slightly darker. I think that works. Because then I can also use that in some of the spaces here too. I think that works. Let me mirror. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm okay with where these colours are going. What time is it? Okay, so I'm going to wait for another 15 minutes. So what's next? Next is I'm not going to work on the table bits just yet. I just want to lay down a few more of these rear colours. So I think I might do the light fittings. Now these might end up being this yellow. Let's see. Okay, so this is still this layer. Perfect. Strokes are on. Did I say I was going to blow my nose at some point? Because I think I meant to and then I forgot I was going to do that. Well, I'm working for another few more minutes, like I say, 15-ish minutes. Thank you if you've spared the time to watch. I'm not sure when the next time our stream will be. I'm hoping next Thursday, but if not, I'll try to squeeze in some time before then, or after then. But ideally, I'd like to stream excuse me every Thursday in the afternoon, give or take, and then occasionally in the evenings. I kind of want to keep doing it because I kind of want to build up like an audience, if that's possible, if people are interested in this sort of thing at all. But I think consistency is the key, so that's why I'm going to keep doing it. Consistency is the key. Okay. Any more lights? This style of light? No. Let's see, does this yellow work? I think it could work. Shift M. Do I like this yellow? Do I like this yellow? How about this yellow? Or biscuit? The biscuits. No. No, I don't think this yellow is the answer. I'm going to quickly reference my other reference. No, they're no help at all. It's all grey. It's basically all grey and all yellow, so it admittedly it does help me in terms of some things, but not for this particular section. I mean, let me throw some colours out there. Purple. Absolutely no way. Pink. Oh. No, not that pink. This pink. No. Very light yellow. No. This yellow again. Let me try this green, yellowy green that I was using for the doors. This might work. I don't mind it. Nope. And no, this is a straight no. What was it? Was the yellow? I don't mind this. The lights actually will be obviously not this shade. So what is it that I like about this that I don't like about that? No, let me go back to that green. I don't even know if I like this green, frankly. I think the problem with the pink is that it's clashing too much with the ceiling. Isn't it? Or does that actually work? No, no, no. Oh, this is a tricky one. Where is this yellow used? This yellow is used mainly with the greens, so no, I don't think that yellow is going to work up there. But the pink. Pink could work. Or the green. Or if we go for the subtlety thing, it was this, wasn't it? I mean, is that too subtle? This is where actually this colouring this bit will help a lot. I'm gonna say I'm gonna stick. Am I sticking with this green? No, I'm not. I think I'm gonna stick with this. Let me just try that yellow one more time. No, definitely not this. Okay, let's stick with that for now. And then so what colour are the pipes in this reference? Oh, they're just silver, okay. That's not really a huge amount of help. Let me work out what colour these can be here. I'll look, I will, because I'm running out of time, I will do the strokes for them, slap a colour on there, and then think about it later, just so I'm making some progress. Sometimes you've got to percolate on these colour choices. What I like to do is I like to at the end of a stream, I'll render off like a couple of versions, colorways, so to speak, and then send them to myself on my phone, so that then throughout the day I can look at them and, sort of judge on the go. Does that make sense? Sort of like with a bit more objectivity. I'm sure I'm not the only person that does that sort of thing. It's a bit like having a sketchbook thumbnail. Oh, I want to zoom in, not zoom out. Thank you. Sorry, using the Bezier tool a little bit here just because I'm coming up to the end of my drawing day, so I want to be a little bit quicker. So sometimes I will just use those Bezier handles. I've never looked up the etymology of the word Bezier. French, of course. But etymology? No idea. Someone called Mr. Bezier? Mrs. Bezier? Why be so sexist? Or is it some sort of maths term that has been incorporated into image software parlance? Anybody knows? Let me know, because I'm not looking it up. I refuse to. Bezier. Excellent. What am I doing after this? Chores. Obviously. Silly question. Got chores, got loads of chores. Who doesn't? Endless chores. Am I going to tell you what the chores are? No, that'll be boring. Even more boring than what I normally talk about. Vacuuming, probably. Got a bit of vacuuming to do. What I like to do is I like to put my Bluetooth headphones on and listen to some jams. Hoover like a madman. I don't actually listen to jams whilst I'm hoovering. I tend to listen to podcasts, actually. What podcasts am I listening to, you ask? I don't know if I want to share, frankly. Some of the podcasts I listen to are incredibly nerdy. A lot of foreign policy and EU politics type stuff. Just really boring. But I kind of find it interesting. You know, we live in interesting times, as they say. So it's quite easy to get addicted to the daily the daily stuff, the daily changes. Okay, so is that all this pipe stroked off? Yes, it is. So let's do a quick fill, just for now. Nothing, no commit, not a hard commitment. What shall I go for? I'm thinking the same dark brick for now, just for now, because that feels infrastructure-y to me. Let's turn the strokes off. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to stick to for now. Let me just hold on. Let me just, with these lights, let me just go back to this green. I don't know. No, not that. Not that green. No. If anything, it would be that green. Yellow, let's try that yellow again. It's growing on me. That yellow is growing on me. How about this one? No, that's too light. And I think this is what it was just a second ago, isn't it? This yellow is beginning to grow on me, I have to say. So I'm going to spit out a version with this yellow. Let's do that now. File, export images. Let's call this 62A. Overwrite the previous one. And then do I do a version with this, but also with this? No, I think that green has grown on me. I'll do a version anyway, just in case. But I think that green has grown on me. Or what about if it was this? No way. I'll do a version like this too. File, export images, B. Okay. No, honestly, I think that green is the one, but just for shizzles and giggles, what does this look like? Okay, let me do this is the third version, and this is the last version, so that's going to be C. Okay, so there you go. Three versions. I think I'm going to stick to the one I was working on, which is the green floor. Oh, pardon me. With the I think I'm going to stick to. Do I like that yellow? What versions did I render out? Did I render out a version with that yellow? Yeah, I did. Okay. I don't know about that yellow. I think this is the one I'm gonna stick to, so I'll save it like this for now. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for watching. If you did, I think that's how you say that. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I will try to be online before Thursday next week. But if not, I'm hoping that Thursday will be my regular stream day. I'm gonna now quickly upload those thumbnails to my phone so I can mull over them and upload the VOD to YouTube, and then I'm going to get on with hoovering, I think. Brilliant. Okay, well, thanks very much, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your week. Have a good, I think it's a bank holiday weekend here in the UK, so enjoy your bank holiday if you're here in the UK, and if not, just have a good weekend. Cool. Bye.